Welcome to the Tennishackery podcast. This is the place where we discuss all things about tennis that relate to the fundamentals, the fitness, and the mind game. Today is episode 19. Hey, Soham, how are you doing?
Great. Glad to be back on.
Yeah,
Um, and wow, we are 19 episodes in. How
right.
remarkable.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's like it started out last year, like I think in Feb. So it's not bad. So this means that we've got to keep the content train going, man.
Absolutely. We are going to
Yeah.
be soon hitting our 1 year anniversary.
Yes, pretty
Excited.
soon. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So before that, let me launch into the marketing spiel. So again, welcome to the Tennis Hackery podcast. So you can find us on Facebook. Instagram is the biggest place where we are quite active. X, which used to be Twitter. Tennishackery.com is our website, which was launched a couple of weeks back, and we did have an episode. Last episode, we discussed a lot about it, and we shall continue to discuss more about it. Uh, the video version of this goes to YouTube. The audio version goes to the Spotify as well as the Apple Podcasts. So hit up your favorite podcasting app, and you can find us there. Um, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and leave us reviews on the podcasting platforms. Leave us YouTube comments. Uh, please do not hold back with your criticisms or your praise. So either all we are looking for is feedback so that we can evolve and cater our content better. So with that, let's get into episode 19. So yeah, so the take it away.
I want to just add to what you just said.
Yeah.
What would be interesting is once our um, fans, I guess I can say, log into our website.
Right.
What we are really looking forward to is getting a few videos of your
Yes.
tennis game, and we would really want to work on those videos, do some certain types of analytics, and we look forward to working with people, and that's something that we're really looking forward to. So please do not forget to send in your videos, whether it's adults, maybe it's your kids, juniors, and we would be happy to receive them and then talk to you guys, and see how we can help optimize your tennis performance and take maybe you want to come on the journey with us and hack through your tennis goals. So do not forget to send us some videos. So that's what I wanted to add, because we have certain services and certain expertise that our team members have, and we want to make sure that we deliver our best based on your wants and desires in the game of tennis. So that was my sort of mini marketing spiel uh,
Yes.
to add to yours. But I'm excited to bring to our viewers and listeners episode 19, like you said. And, the last, what is it now? Almost 1.5 weeks has been Australian Open fever, right?
Yep.
Uh, everybody's watching it, everybody's talking about it. Lots of good matches on the men's, women's sides. Lots of drama, controversies. I mean, it couldn't have started better, especially for the calendar year. So, Tarun, I mean, I know it's going to be the semifinals now,
Yeah.
but before we get to the semifinals, um, how I mean, you have watched. I'm sure you've watched a few matches, right?
Yeah.
What has been your observations? Anything in particular that you want to talk about?
Um, I mean, it's this has been a good Australian Open for the next gen to come through. I mean, especially on the men's side, you could see guys like Fonseca, Lerner, Tien, all these guys. They had some good tournaments. They went deep. Uh, the young guys who have been on the circuit for at least a few years, like Shelton, he's now a semifinalist. That's pretty good to see. I mean, and uh, I mean, like around the time the tournament was starting, I made a kind of a left field prediction that there will be an American male who might win. I mean, I was thinking of Fritz or Paul, but you can see that the American guys are definitely like at least for these hardcore majors, they're going deep. Quarters. They had a couple of semis before. Fritz was a finalist in the US Open last year. So I feel in the coming years, I think just by numbers, I think if there are enough American semifinalists, perhaps one of them might go on to win the whole thing. So that's pretty good to see. And on the women's side, uh, Madison Keys is doing pretty well. She was I had picked her to do well. Uh, did not expect her to make it to the semifinals. I thought she'd go deep till the quarters, but I mean it was good. I saw her finals match against Pegula on the Adelaide final. She was good, serving big, returning big. So all in all, it's a good tournament.
So Tarun, can you tell our dear viewers how much money did you actually put in? Because that's the $1 million question.
Yes,
Because you made some good predictions, and I'm sure you're gonna cash out big.
no, I dollar zero in, dollar zero out. So yeah, I wish.
But
But
yeah, I
yeah,
have to, your credit to you for Keys. Actually, I mean that she's actually playing really
yeah,
well.
yeah,
I think the surface suits her. Glad to see her back. Kind of, she's dropped in her rankings
yeah,
quite a bit. But I think even in Wimbledon, when I saw her, I think she had a good match. The one
yeah,
she lost could have gone further, but she's had a very successful run at the Aussie Open. And you never know. You never
yeah. You
know.
never know.
Surprises can
Yeah,
happen. And also, I mean,
yes,
I know we're starting with the women's side.
yeah,
Badosa, I think she's had another very good tournament.
yeah,
Kind of flown under the radar. But that win against Coco was she beat Coco,
yes,
right? So
yes. She beat her.
that was a very impressive win.
Very impressive.
So
Very
these two,
clean ball
Keys,
striking. Very clean ball
I mean,
striking. Yes.
honestly, like I really want to see Madison Keys play Badosa in the final because it's going to be, something that no one
Yeah,
expected.
yeah, yeah.
But there
I
is a
agree.
high likelihood that is going to be Sabalenka versus Iga.
Yeah.
So it would be
I
nice.
yeah. So what I think. So if there is somebody who could take out Iga, I think that I mean a game style like big hitting on the hard court conditions. I think Madison Keys is the right kind of game style. So we'll see. It might be interesting semi.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna pick sort of um I'm trying to think if I want to go with an upset. But just because I want to make things interesting, I'm going to go with Sabalenka to win against Badosa, and I'm going to pick Madison Keys surprise win over Swiatek in three
Nice,
sets.
nice. Yep. Let's see how it goes. I just hope uh, these are very good semis. So yep. I
What are
mean,
what are your picks?
yeah. I mean, I would. I still think. I mean, I want Keys to win. I'm rooting for her. The only
Yeah.
American left now, so hopefully she goes as deep as possible. But I have a feeling that Swiatek is in top form. So I think Swiatek and Sabalenka final, and Sabalenka might win this one.
Okay, that's a good prediction.
Yeah.
Um, so let's talk about men's. I've actually watched quite a lot of matches in men's whenever I've gotten the opportunity to, and I know you already highlighted a few of the next gen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see Fonseca play against Sonego. That was a great match. Sonego played really, really well that
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
Very smart. He was executing to perfection, and he's had a very good tournament. I know, and unfortunately, he lost to Shelton, and I also watched that match. Uh, could have gone five. I think he kind of broke down at the wrong time. So that's experience, but I think Shelton handled himself really well. I think I've been very impressed with
Yeah.
Shelton's um, ability to really use his strengths to his advantage,
Yes.
which are basically his forehands, his serve. He has a very good net game, and his overheads are really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He kind of camouflages his backhand and weaker returns
Yeah.
of serve, but he does. I think his attitude has been great.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Excellent
so,
attitude. I
so
mean,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
definitely
happy to
agree.
see. I'm happy to see Shelton go
Yeah.
far. Now, in terms of again, to add to what you already said, Lerner Tien had a fantastic. I mean, I actually really like his game style. It's good to see another actually Asian American do well. Been a while since we have had like an Asian American, right?
Yeah. It's
And
Chang, right? Was Chang the last person?
Michael Chang may have been the last one. So good, definitely positive for Lerner there. Fonseca is going to be a future star. Um, Definitely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing how he does at the French. I think
Yeah.
he'll have a good tournament there, hopefully. Um, Now, let's see, who am I missing out? Tommy Paul had a good tournament.
Yeah.
He definitely could have beaten Sasha Zverev. Uh, Close four sets. I mean, close first three sets. The fourth set kind of got away from him. Looking forward to the semifinal between Sasha Zverev and Novak.
Your favorite Novak. Yes.
No, Novak is not my favorite, but I told you, Tarun, we were talking
Yeah.
offline. I said Novak would beat Carlos Alcaraz, even though I had predicted Alcaraz to go deep.
Mm.
So I am
Yes,
not
you did. Yes, you
surprised.
did.
I'm not surprised, and what I feel, I want to share with the viewers, and of course, feel free to comment, guys. I felt that having Andy Murray on his side is helping him immensely against these young gen top ranked players because Andy Murray has been in a similar position where he was just outside the top three and he's played the top three so many times. That experience in itself is actually been very useful and helpful for Novak, I think. So he's feeding off of that. And I actually think that that's one of the reasons why he had success against Carlos Alcaraz, who I don't think was at his best, honestly, in this tournament. And I feel Novak is going to go past Zverev in the semis. And on the other side, as much as I want to see Ben may make it to the finals, I think Yannick Sinner is too strong. I think
Yeah.
just too solid.
Yeah.
So Novak versus Sinner is going to be a great final. Um, that's hard for me to call. I think that's going to be a close four-set match. And if Sinner is feeling good, I think he's going to win it in four. But don't underestimate Novak. He's been there, done that like
Yeah.
10 times.
I really think the Novak Zverev semifinal is very important. Uh, I think Zverev is playing very well. I think he problem solved very well in his quarterfinal match against Paul. I mean, I see a lot. Uh, I like the way he has cleaned up his fitness a lot. Apparently, last year they were saying that he worked a lot on his fitness. Because his problem has always been that he would struggle to string together those like 6-7 matches to win a slam. I mean, he would go deep in all of them, but he would just fail in the quarters or semis. So I think he has got the fitness part of it. He's already solved the serve. I mean, his backhand is the best. Is I mean, probably second only to Novak. So and like he was creating like huge amount of offense against Paul on the backhand cross court is just deadly, and he can hit different spots on the court with that cross court backhand, and then go line when he needs to. So I mean, if so the thing is, Novak may have the edge, but I think Zverev with his physicality, if he can take Novak to 5 sets, he can. I basically he could show up to the final undercooked Novak. So I mean, I'm hoping for a blockbuster semifinal. So I actually want Zverev to go all the way and win it. So
I
we'll see.
it he definitely has the talent. He's always showcased that, but I feel like the biggest roadblock and obstacle for Zverev has been like the crucial moments later on in like the quarterfinal, semifinal stage, it's like executing, right? You get to the fourth set, fifth set, and then somehow it just doesn't, he can't string
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And at some point, if you have talent and you work hard enough,
Yeah.
you can overcome it, right? Because I don't think he's afraid to take on Novak, right? And I think honestly, he has a chance, right? He definitely has more than a chance. It's just that mentally, is he going to be like, serve is a big part of his game.
Yeah.
You know, if he gets his first serve in,
Yeah.
he can be hard to beat.
True.
If his first serve is off, and then if Novak is fit, experience makes a big difference. So
Yeah.
I think Novak is going to win in four.
Hey,
And
let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right
yeah,
there. You talked about assuming he's fit about Novak. So
oh
speaking of
yeah,
that Carlos match, so I didn't see that match at all. I mean, I slept off. Um, I think you saw like you mentioned that you had seen a few like of the first two sets, right? Did you see the first two sets or the towards the
no,
end?
no, 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 no. I actually also same.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The timing wasn't exactly great.
Yeah, I know. It's
I
midnight. Yeah.
I saw highlights of it,
Yeah. So what do
and
you think? I mean, do you think that Carlos? I mean, there was allegations of like gamesmanship where he kind of faked or feigned injury, took the time out, and then lumbering around and limping, and then comes back and then plays lights out. What do you think?
um, so I believe Novak has a habit of doing this, honestly.
Hmm.
But here is the thing, like just trying to be neutral and diplomatic about it. It's not illegal. Like if you're feeling, there's no way one can know how somebody is feeling, right?
Yeah, no
I
way to
can't
check through.
sit
Yeah,
here, I can't
yeah,
sit here and say that maybe Novak was feeling like not very well. And then I think he took painkillers, maybe it kicks in after some time, and then he was feeling fine. It's hard to label someone as faking something.
yeah. Right. I
They
agree.
can exaggerate it,
Hmm.
and that's completely possible because there are many players who exaggerate that
Yeah.
to kind of throw off your opponent a little bit, and then your opponent starts, trying to play different because
Right.
now they see that the opponent is moving differently, feeling differently, and then it throws off their game. And it could be like gamesmanship or strategy. I mean, it's not in the spirit of sportsmanship. I'm not a big fan of it, let's just say. Like, but it's not illegal. So
Yeah.
if that's a means of, um, winning, then sure. I mean,
Yeah.
in
I
tennis,
mean,
the thing is though, right? At the end of the day, you have to win you have to play the sport. You have to hit the shots, and you
yeah.
have to win. So Carlos could have overlooked it and not
Yep.
thought about it, and kind of continued to play his game
Yep.
without whatever is happening on the other side of the net affecting him, right?
Yep. Yeah. So yeah. So to dig a bit deeper into that, right? I'm just trying to like see how it just see some relevance to competition in the amateurs and the junior levels. So clearly a case of one player uh, being injured, like lumbering around. Maybe they're feeling something. Uh, I mean, I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, it happens. Nobody's like always. All these top players are generally carrying some niggles or some minor injuries here and there. Something flares up, they get treatment, they come back. I mean, they're as good as new. But since you have played so much of competitive tennis, uh, what do you think? Like, are the dynamics when let's say you're playing me, and if I'm limping around, moping around, how does it affect your game? Like, does it? I mean, I'm just trying to go through. Like, we all agree that the responsibility lied with Carlos to finish the match. Doesn't matter what the level or the condition of his opponent was. So, at a practical level, when you're playing, what is the psychology? What do you think happens when you see an opponent who's not 100%?
I think there definitely is a difference between seeing somebody there's nothing wrong with them,
Yeah,
and then suddenly seeing someone who is different. I think it's as much as we want to deny it, what what we are seeing, we are kind of internalizing it, and then it definitely has a psychological effect. So if I'm playing you, Tarun, right, and I'm gonna let's have this conversation both ways, where you also give like
Yeah.
the same situation where it happened to me. So I'll go first. If I see you, like, let's say I won the first set, like 6-2, 6-3, right?
Which you will
And then
most of the time. So
and,
yeah.
and, and in the second set, I see you I see you like limping around after the first game. Maybe you pulled something, or maybe
Or
I
I'm
felt
cramping or
you
something. Yeah, yeah.
cramping, right? I think that's gonna throw me off. And I'm gonna try to change my way I play. Maybe try to move you around, maybe not hit the shots with as much power, but now try to place the ball, maybe drop shots. And by doing that, I may start making some mistakes because that's not really my game plan.
Yeah.
It's changed. I've had to change my game plan based on the opponent, right? It's actually really hard, like, because maybe the balls are not coming back as with as much power or something. So I've had to change my power level and spin and whatnot, slice. So definitely, I think it will have an effect in the way I play. And to continue to play the same way I played in set one, I think it's gonna be a challenge. But this is where like having the and I'm talking from like our level, not really pro level, having the tools to know how to play the different types of situations, whether it's dealing with the weather or
Yep.
external conditions, dealing with noise, maybe other people are playing around you and stuff like that, or dealing with a possible injured opponent who is playing and not giving up or whatever, is continuing to play. These are situations I think is helpful for juniors to experience as they are
Yep.
growing up.
Yep.
So they
Totally
know
agree.
that when it shows up in actual matches, they have a set plan, which is not to deviate from that
What's been
plan.
working? Yeah, yeah. It's true. Completely
And
agree.
even so we see that even at the pro level,
Yeah.
uh, obviously these people are still human beings, right?
Yeah.
So it still has an effect. So I don't know. I mean, it's tough because there's so much stress at
Yeah.
that level of like a Grand Slam quarterfinal, like center court. It's tough.
Yeah.
And Novak is a person who doesn't give up.
Yeah. He
So
doesn't give up.
even if he's like limping around, he's still gonna make you work for the point. I have seen Rafa like injured and continuing to play, and all of a sudden he hits crazy shots. I think this happened against Stan Wawrinka at the Australian Open.
I mean, yeah, but that was
He,
like, yeah, it's true.
he
I mean,
tried.
he won a set
He did win
basically,
a
but
set. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
and
then
Stan
all of a
was he was completely put off his game because like,
exactly.
yeah.
The same thing happened in another match which I was watching. It was Lerner Tien versus Mute.
Hmm.
So Mute fell down actually,
Hmm.
and he literally couldn't move for like a few games, and he was just like blasting balls, couldn't move.
Hmm.
It's like, trying to hit winners whenever he could. And then suddenly he started moving well after like 15 minutes. And then Tien lost a few games because of that. He held ultimately to win that set, but it was like much closer than it should have been. So, psychology, what
Yeah.
you're seeing on the other side of the court actually makes a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say only one thing: beware of the injured player. So
Yeah.
the injured player, the cramping player, typically, I mean, once it happens and they choose to continue, remember they have the option to retire the match. Show them no mercy. So,
So,
uh,
what would you do
yeah,
if you are playing me
yeah,
back to you now,
yeah,
and I was like hobbling around?
yeah. I mean, I would see what worked and I would continue to do that. So let's say, I mean, if I detect that, so typically with injuries, what happens is people cannot make sudden movements. So, I mean, I might sound like a villain. I might sound like I don't care. It might even be unsportsmanlike. I will set up heavy shots and I will drop shot. Come on, go track it down. I will see you give up shots. I'll try to draw you into the net. I'll try to make you hit overheads because such players, they are comfortable moving slowly side to side. So if you try to engage them in long side to side rallies with consistency, they will eventually, they'll try to just stay in the match somehow and make you beat yourself. So you need to hit a bit heavy, hit consistently, and then draw them into the net. Make them move those sudden movements. It sounds heartless, it sounds unsportsmanlike, but remember, they are the ones injured. They have the option to retire. Show them no mercy.
That's you're ruthless then on the court.
Yep, yep, yep. They've spoken like someone who has lost a few matches to injured players or players who are in various stages of injuries. So all I'll say is remember they have the option to retire. You should
Yeah,
help them do.
I'm glad with this kind of experience. I hope you like share this
Yeah,
kind of knowledge
yeah.
with your students and with people that you teach. I know I see you are wearing a cap which represents the
Yeah,
school that
yeah,
you taught their team. So
yeah. American High, go Eagles.
there you go.
Yeah.
Also, there is a football super championship game this weekend where Philadelphia Eagles are playing. So I guess Eagles are
Yep.
all over the place nowadays.
Yep.
But from that, I think that's a great conversation, Tarun. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
it's good to know how to play
Yeah.
the situation.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so stick to your guns, stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Don't try to change too much because
Yeah.
then you might be the one who suffers at the end of the day.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to ask you a quick you know quick talk about a little a side topic where I know you're talking about this prior to this recording about general like petty level controversies, which I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah.
Ben Shelton alluded to during his post-match conference last night or this morning. What do you think? Like, I know it could be banter or whatnot, but
Yeah.
I mean, is it something which is being exaggerated, or do you think there is a little bit of this always in the game of tennis?
I don't know. I mean, see, I think it's a combination of banter and in some cases, some people come from different cultures. They're clueless. If you What I have read about is typically in press conferences, right? Player press conferences, the people who are asking the questions are journalists who actually have nothing to do with tennis. Many journalists, like they are representing their media organization or the newspaper. They're just doubling as somebody else, and people don't have dedicated tennis journalists on staff. So uh, I mean, so you see some questions like that. So for one of those meme worthy, you need to watch Andy Roddick's press conference after losing to Federer in the 2007 Australian Open. We'll link that in the show notes. That's
I
pretty funny.
remember that.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah. So I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I don't think they intend to offend. Maybe it's just a foppo. I think Roger Rashid should have known better. I think the guy who interviewed Ben Shelton and prompting Ben Shelton to question later that we get really bad questions kind of thing. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you have to
yeah,
be uh understanding of
yeah,
people's
yeah,
what's sensitive and what's not.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Mm.
but other than that, um, I just, I was just thinking while as we are talking about this, how cool would it be
Mhm.
if our Tennishackery team were at like Australian Open next year?
Yeah, yeah,
I was just thinking, I spoke about when I went to Indian Wells last year. I was at the French Open last year. It would be really nice for whoever can make it to
yeah,
actually be present at these slams,
yeah,
maybe do a recording or two
yeah.
from there. That's kind of our vision and hope in terms of
Yep,
at least the podcast,
yep,
uh, and and really if we can get couple of the players
yep.
uh, just give us their take and endorse us,
Yeah.
that would be something that our team
Yeah, it should
would
be fun. Yeah, we
forward
should
to.
maybe try for some of these media passes and see if we can get in. And let's see. Anyone who follows us knows how. Please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe
Yeah,
we can try try that at some of the local tournaments. In fact, last year I saw a challenger event actually at Stanford, the Golden Gate Open. I was there, so um, you don't really get to see a bunch of these, lower ranked players.
Yeah.
Beneficial to actually go there, sit. I took a bunch of my friend actually posts matches, uh, like a bridge, like shortened matches, it's kind of on YouTube. So he was recording a lot of the matches, and certainly for Tennishackery, like we would love to interact with like
Yeah.
at least challenger, pro level players, futures.
Yep.
It would be something that we were really, really excited.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
But
Yep.
with that, I think
Yeah.
really looking forward to the semis and the finals.
Yes.
It's been a good start to the year, and looking forward to more like new champions, I think.
Hopefully. Yeah.
More youngsters coming through. Hopefully an American wins a slam this year, men's and or women's.
I think it's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just going to ask a final question before we close out. Who who has impressed you the most? And when I talk about this question is like, obviously we're not talking about necessarily the top five ranked players or something, but out of whoever you watched, who has impressed you the most and has put great potential and promise going forward, men's or women's? Pick
Uh,
one.
yeah. I mean, having followed some of the newer players from the ATP Next Gen, I really like Fonseca. I mean,
Yep.
he's massive upside to his game, huge serve, like massive forehand, and the way he took out, he dominated Rublev. It's not easy to do. He's a good player. So, I mean, of course, he has to do a lot of work on his movement and net game and things like that. But I think he's here to stay. How about
I
you?
I would have to agree with you, but
Yeah,
I think um, there are a bunch of guys actually.
yeah,
Men's, I tend to follow men's a little bit more than women's, but in men's at least, the ones we mentioned, I think they have some bright futures, assuming that they don't suffer from injuries.
yeah,
Fonseca for sure. I really like what I saw from Tien.
yeah,
There is another guy called Mensik.
yeah. You could say, yeah,
So he's one. Of course, there is Ben Shelton. He's doing well. He's now maybe a veteran. I don't.
yep, yep, yep,
But yeah, I mean, there are a bunch. I mean, of course, Sinner and Alcaraz will be around.
yeah.
I think a couple of disappointments this year. I thought Daniil Medvedev was a huge disappointment. I know you're not necessarily a big fan of
Yeah.
Daniil. Rublev was a disappointment. Fritz losing early was a disappointment. On Fritz, I really, really like Monfils.
Yep. It's coming
I
to that.
love
Yep.
that man. I love
Yeah.
that just the way he plays the game.
Yeah.
He's so good to watch.
Yep.
He smiles and plays. He's so athletic.
Yep.
He had a fantastic tournament. And I really wish if he was younger, I think he would have gone further. So shout out to Gail Monfils and also to his wife,
Exactly. Yep. Svetlana. Yeah.
who had another fantastic tournament.
Yeah. Indeed. Well, I think on that note, we can come to a close of episode 19 to launch into the marketing spiel. Uh, please do follow us at Tennishackery with a Y. We are at Tennishackery with a Y is our handle. Tennishackery.com is our website. You can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram. Uh, the audio version of the podcast goes to Spotify and the Apple Podcasts. Video version goes to YouTube. So hit up your favorite podcasting app and follow us. Look us up there as at Tennishackery with a Y. And please like, share, subscribe, comment, review, and yep. Thank you for watching, listening, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.